In this video, I'll be taking you over the 5 minor pentatonic scale shapes. So let's get started with shape number 1. We're going to be working in E minor today, so the first pentatonic shape will look like this. And we will be playing the open string, the open E string, and we'll be placing our second finger on the 3rd fret. Then we're going to be playing the open A string, and our first finger on the 2nd fret. Then we're going to be playing the open D string, then our first finger on the 2nd fret again. Then we're going to play the open G string, and we're going to have our first finger on the 2nd fret again. Then we're going to play the open B string, and we're going to place our second finger on the 3rd fret and play the B string again. Then we're going to play the open E string, and we're going to play the 3rd fret. So altogether it sounds like this. So you need to be aware of where the root notes are in all 5 of these positions. So the root notes, i.e. the E notes, are the 2 open E strings and the 2nd fret of the D string. So let's move on to the second E minor pentatonic scale shape. So we're going to start on the 3rd fret of the E string with our middle finger, and then we're going to put our little finger on the 5th fret, play that. Then we're going to go 2 with our index finger on the A string, and then we're going to go to fret 5 of the A string with our little finger. Then on the D string, we're going to play the 2nd fret again with our index finger, then the 5th fret with our little finger. Then we're going to play the G string, and we're going to place our first finger on the 2nd fret and our 3rd finger on the 4th fret. Then we're going to place our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the B string and play that. Then the 5th fret, then the 3rd fret and 5th fret of the E string as well, with the same fingers, your middle finger and your little finger. So altogether, the second scale shape sounds like this. So your root notes are the 5th fret of the B string and the 2nd fret of the D string. Cool, so let's move on to the 3rd scale shape. So we're going to place our middle finger on the 5th fret of the E string and play that, and play the 7th fret with our little finger. And we're going to do the same thing for the A string and the D string. So 5th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret. Then we move on to the G string, and we're going to place our index finger on the 4th fret and our little finger on the 7th fret. Then on the B string, we're going to place our first finger on the 5th fret and the 8th fret with our little finger. And then on the E string, we're going to play the 5th fret with our first finger and the 7th fret with our 3rd finger. So altogether, the scale shape sounds like this. And your E notes would be the 5th fret of the B string and the 7th fret of the A string. Cool. So let's move on to scale shape number 4. So we're going to place our index finger or our first finger on the 7th fret of the E string and our little finger on the 10th fret of the E string as well. Then we're going to do the same thing for the A string. Then we're going to play 7 with our index finger again, and then 9 on the D string with our 3rd finger. And then do the same thing on the G string. 7, 9. Then we are going to place our middle finger on the 8th fret of the B string and our little finger on the 10th fret of the B string. Then when we get onto the E string, we're going to play 7 with our index finger and 10 with our little finger. So the scale shape sounds like this. root notes would be the 7th fret on the A string, my bad, and the 9th fret of the G string. Cool. So the 5th and final shape will be 10th fret with our middle finger on the E string. Then with our little finger we're going to play the 12th fret. Then we are going to do the same thing on the A string, 10, 12. Then on the D string we're going to place our first finger on the 9th fret and our 4th finger on the 12th fret. And then do the same thing on the G string again. For the last two strings, we're going to play 10, 12 with our middle finger and little finger again. Just like that. So this scale shape sounds like this. And your root notes can be found on the 12th fret of the E strings and on the 9th fret of the G string. Now, a quick tip so you can implement this. I want you to think of a lick that you would use in the E minor pentatonic scale. So for example, that's one lick we could use. Now, that's in the first position, so I want you to find out how you can do that particular lick that you've come up with or that you have in every single position. So it doesn't have to be in the same octave. It can be a higher pitch or a lower pitch. And for example, the second position could be like this. The third position could be done like this. The fourth position could be done like this. And the fifth position could be done like this. And that will really help you be able to play all your licks all over the fretboard. Obviously, after the 12th fret, everything's just a complete copy of the first 12 frets, so you don't need to worry about remembering stuff up here. So these scale shapes can be quite tricky to learn. They're not hard to do, but they're hard to memorize and keep stuck in your brain. So I'd recommend learning these one at a time. I'd say once per day, one scale shape per day you should learn, and you'll be all good to go. So if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment to let me know how you thought and like the video, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video.